Alright, so today we're going to talk about solving equations. Now, these equations that we're solving are only going to have one variable in them, so we'll only be searching for one unknown. But before we can start solving these equations, there's a couple of things that we need to take into account. So, equations are just like a balance, a seesaw, a balance beam, whatever you want to think about. Both sides of the equal sign are equal. So if we have x equals 4, that's telling us that x and 4 are the exact same thing. So when we have something that's a balance, we can't just only affect one side if we want them to stay balanced. So whenever we're solving these equations, what we do on one side, we have to do to the other side of the equation. And then our last thing to note is inverse operations. So the opposite of addition is subtraction and vice versa. The opposite of subtraction is addition. And then the opposite of multiplication is division, and the opposite of division is multiplication. So whenever we're solving and balancing these equations, we're going to have to undo some of the math. So if we're undoing addition, then we're going to use subtraction. If we're undoing division, we're going to have to use multiplication. Addition and subtraction are always going to go together. Multiplication and division are always going to go together. Alright, so here are our steps for solving equations with just one variable. So all of these steps are going to use inverse operations, what we just talked about. So our first step, we're going to do this first example on the left as we kind of talk through these steps, and then we'll do it again on the right as well. So our first step is we need to move all of the variables to one side of the equal sign. But before I can even do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this look like that balance we just talked about. Wherever my equal sign is, I'm going to draw a line straight down, just so I always remember that what I do on one side, I also have to do on the other side. So we need to get step 1, all variables to one side of the equal sign. On the left side of my equal sign, I see x, 2x is the term, and on the right side of the equal sign, I don't see any variables, so I think step 1 is already a check for us here. Alright, so our second step is going to be to move all constants to the opposite side of the equal sign. So remember, constants are numbers that are all by themselves with no variables attached. So on my left side, I see the constant -5 or -5. And then on the right side, I see 15. So because I already have my variables on the left side, I'm going to move my constants to the right side. And to do that, this is where those inverse operations are coming in. Because I'm subtracting 5 already, to undo that and bring it to the other side, I have to add 5 here. But what I do to one side, I also have to do to the other side. So I'm also going to add 5 here. So that's going to get me to my next step. So 2x is not affected. -5 and +5, that's a 0 pair. They're going to cancel out and just leave us with 2x on the left side. I'm going to rewrite my equal sign, and then 15 plus 5 is going to give me 20. Alright, so all my variables are on the left side, all my constants are on the right side, so now I can move to step 3. Step 3 tells me to isolate the variable. So what that means is I want it to be all by itself. And to do that, I'm again going to use inverse operations. So right now, 2 and x are being multiplied. When they're right next to each other, that tells me that I'm just multiplying them. So to undo multiplication, I'm going to use the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 so I can get that x all alone. So 2x divided by 2, really I could just simplify this fraction right here, 2 over 2. That leaves me with 1x, or just x. My equal sign is going to pull down, and then I have 20 divided by 2. When I split 20 in 2, that gives me 10. So I know my final answer is x equals 10. That's my solution. Alright, so let's follow the same steps on the right. So, again, step 1, move all variables to one side of the equal sign. But before I do that, I have to draw that line down so I remember to balance, keep my equation balanced. When I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I see variables right here, a variable term here, and a variable term here. What I like to do is find the smallest one and move that one to the other side. So in this case, that's going to be 7x. So 7x is positive, so that means I'm going to subtract it from this side and from this side. Alright, so 9x minus 7x, that's going to leave me with 2x. And then negative 4 minus 4 wasn't touched, so it's just going to stay there. That's going to equal 7x minus 7x. That's a 0 pair. It's gone. But that still leaves us with positive 6 on the other side. Alright, so now my variables are all on one side. I need to move my constants to the other side. My constant that I still have on the left side of my variable is minus 4. So I'm going to move that over because 6 is all by itself. The constants are all alone on the right side. So minus 4, the opposite of subtraction is going to be addition. So I'm going to add 4. I have to do it to both sides. That leaves me with 2x, nothing affected it, negative 4, and a positive 4. It's going to be a 0 pair, so it leaves it just by itself. 2x equals 6 plus 4, that equals 10. Alright, so my last step, I need to isolate the variable. The variable is not alone. 2 and x are being multiplied, so that means I need to divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable. So that coefficient is 2. So that leaves me with 2 divided by 2, which is going to be 1. And that's just going to leave us with x. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to write it up here. We have our equal sign. And then 10 divided by 2, that's 5 on the other side. So x equals 5. That's my final solution. Alright, so some practice. To start, before we do anything, we're going to draw that line. We can do it to both if we want to. Whatever helps you. So let's get all of our variables on one side. Again, I'm going to look for my smaller variable term, which in this case is x, and it's positive, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides. That leaves me with 3x minus x. That's going to give me just 2x. Minus 9 wasn't touched. X minus x, that's a 0 pair. It's going to go away. And then plus 7 wasn't affected, so I'm just going to have 7. I don't need to write that plus sign again. So now I need to move all my constants to the opposite side. I moved all my variables to the left, so now I'm going to move the constants to the right. So my constant over here, I've got negative 9, and my constant over here, I've got 7. So the Sorry for the little glitch. But, so I've got my constant of negative 9 on the left side with the variable, and I want to move it to the other side. So, because it's negative, or being subtracted, that tells me that I'm going to do the inverse, which is adding. So, I'm going to add 9 to both sides, because what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 2x was not touched, so it's just going to come down. Negative 9 and positive 9, that's a 0 pair. Equals 7 plus 9, that's going to give me 16. So my last step is to isolate this variable. The variable is being multiplied by 2, so we're going to divide by that coefficient that's in front of it, so that 2. So divide both sides by 2. Over here, those simplify to 1. That leaves me with just x. And 16 divided by 2 is 8. So my final answer is x equals 8. Sometimes with these equations, I always write my answer at the top and circle it just so it's away from all my work in case something got messy. And then example 2, we're going to solve for x again. But this, we're going to tie back in some stuff from simplifying expressions. We need to simplify this, distribute that 2 before we can do anything about solving for x. So my first step is distribute 2. So that leaves me with 2x plus 2. And that equals 4x. Nothing changed. Alright, so we need to move all the variables to one side. So again, I'm always going to move my smaller one first. my smaller variable term is 2x. My bigger one is 4x, so I'm going to move 2x over 4x. Because it's positive, I'm going to subtract it from both sides. That's going to leave me with a 0 pair right there. 2 on my left side, and then 4x minus 2x leaves me with 2x. My constants are all on one side, my variables are all on one side. It just kind of worked out really easy for me like that. And so now all I need to do is isolate my variable. X is being multiplied by 2, so that means I need to divide everything by 2. That simplifies to 1, which leaves me with just a single x. 2 over 2 is 1, so my final answer is x equals 1. Lastly, we're going to see a fraction with our variable. Everything is going to be exactly the same. None of our steps are going to change. So first, we need to move all the variables to one side, which it looks like they are. Next, we need to move all of our constants to the opposite side of our variable side. So that means I need to move all my constants to the right side because all my variables are on the left. I've got plus 10, so I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to take away 10 from both sides. That leaves me with x over 3 equals 4. So we've usually seen x with a coefficient being multiplied by something, but now we see it being divided. So same process, we're going to use inverse operations. The inverse of division is multiplication. So instead of dividing by 3, which is already happening, we need to undo it, and we're going to multiply both sides by 3. These are going to cancel out and leave us with just one single x. And then we multiply 4 by 3, and that leaves us with 12. So our final answer is x equals 12. Alright, we're going to see different types of solutions. There's one solution when our variable has one value. So if you get to your solution, it says x equals 9, m equals 10, k equals 3. You have one solution. You're going to have no solution when the different sides of the equal sign don't equal. So 7 will never equal 9, 8 will never equal 30, anything like that. That means you don't have a solution. And then infinite solutions is when it's always true. 9 will always equal 9. So if you get to the end and you have the same thing on both sides of the equal sign, that means you have infinite solutions. Two examples to show that are going to be both of these right here. So when example 1 gets solved out, we distribute, we move all the variables to one side, we move all the constants to one side. It looks kind of funky because there really wasn't too much to do. We ended up getting negative 12 equals negative 12. Those are the same thing. That will always be true. Negative 12 will never equal anything else but negative 12. So when that's the case, our answer is infinite solutions, or you can write all real numbers. They mean the same thing, or some people use this symbol. It's like an R, but with two vertical lines. Alright, then our final example gives us, we've got 8x minus 10, we distribute and have 8x minus 14. We find out that negative 10 equals negative 14, which is not true and will never be true. They will never be the same. So when we have two opposite things or different things on either side of the equal sign, that can never be true. Our answer is no solution. So for our example 2, that would be our final answer. So you could have infinite solutions, no solutions, or one single solution, and if that's the case, you want to find what that solution is. Alright guys, so that's all we have for solving equations. Make sure you keep those equations balanced. You do the same thing on both sides of the equal sign. Draw the line if it's helpful to you. And then make sure you're using inverse operations. You're doing the opposite of whatever operation you see there to undo the math that was done. Good luck!